Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another family home, but this time I am building, I guess, a winter family home. I think I called it Winter Tudor on the gallery, but it's not really a holiday house, it's just built in the snow. It's not decorated for Winterfest or Christmas or anything like that. I think there's a couple items though, maybe some Christmas cards, and there is a wreath on the door, so there's a few sort of holiday items, but not really a holiday house. But speaking of uploading it to the gallery, so I built this house in the snow, as you can see, and then I uploaded it to the gallery, not really thinking too much about if everything matched, because a lot of things are covered in snow, and I didn't do any terrain painting. So afterwards, I went back, you'll see at the end of the video, I go into regular build mode that is basically the eternal summer that we've always had, and I realized, yeah, it doesn't look as good as I want it to, so I go through and do some terrain painting, and everything else looked fine. The only thing that I did change other than that was the roof decorations that I add don't have the same roof texture as the rest of the roof, so I changed those to match. So I will re-upload this house as like a fixed version, so I'll still call it Winter Tudor, but I'll just write fixed next to it. So if you've already downloaded this house and want to download this one, it'll be up on the gallery, and I'll put the fixed one in the description box for you guys to go directly to the Origin website and put it in your game that way. But anyways, so this house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. It's actually a lot bigger than I had originally thought it was going to be. I really thought this was going to be like a 2-bedroom house with maybe 1 or 2 bathrooms. I mean, the 2 bathrooms is good, so there isn't an ensuite to the parents' bathroom or bedroom. They have like a family bathroom upstairs, and there's this nice loft area that looks over the living room, which I really like to do anytime I can. It's so nice to be able to create some sort of a loft area above the stairs. I think it's so pretty, and I would love to have something like that in my house someday. But yeah, I didn't expect to fit so many bedrooms. So there's a toddler bedroom in this house, and there is a kid's room, which this is probably one of my favorite kids rooms I've ever done. I think it is really cute. It's kind of space themed. I imagined that the kid that lived in that room wanted to be an astronaut someday. And then there's a parent's bedroom, of course, and yeah, that's about it. Oh, there's an office downstairs too, which I just put the skylight in above it. You may have noticed that. You can't really see it in the snow, but in the summertime when the light's shining through, it looks really pretty. It creates some nice lighting effects in that room. And I put like an art easel in there and a computer. Nothing too crazy. You can, of course, add whatever skill building items suit your Sims better. Oh, and I am building this in downtown Windenburg, just in case you were wondering. Oh, and I do show, I think, all of the floor plan. I think I did cut out part of the kitchen because the footage was kind of a mess, but that's usually the reason I end up cutting out floor planning, is because the footage is like such a disaster, because it's so much of just tearing down walls and replacing them and drawing out rooms, and sometimes it's just a bit confusing and not really worth it, I don't think. But I think I get most of it in this build. I've been actually working on building with thinking of the floor plan in mind. I've just been trying something a little bit, well, it's not new because I have built houses like that before, but I've been trying to do that with my bigger homes. Usually I only think about the floor plan when I'm on a budget and I want there to be a certain amount of space and make sure I have enough money for that space. So I've been trying that out in regular family homes, so look forward to that. I have a lot of builds actually ready to share with you guys. I've been doing a lot of building. It's been a bit noisy around here, so voiceovers haven't been that easy to do, but building is not so hard to do when it's noisy because it doesn't matter what's going on in the background. Yeah, you can see the floor plan is coming together, and I am about to put together that loft area that I was talking about that overlooks the fireplace, and that's where the living room will be. And that is the only area that I made changes to off camera. I don't normally make any changes to my builds once I'm finished with them, but I mean, unless there's any problems like this, where I was playtesting the house and the Sim couldn't get into the living room at all. I mean, she could get around the back of the couches. You'll see when I place the furniture what I mean, but she couldn't get to the fireplace or sit on any of the couches, and that's because one of the love seats was in the way. So I do replace it for a chair that matches the rest of the furniture. So you'll notice that change in the screenshots, but everything else should be the same. And I didn't have any other issues. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. The hamper in the kids' room, the Sim couldn't get to because I do put a pile of like messy clothes underneath the hamper to look like some of the clothes had spilled out, and yeah, she couldn't get to the hamper because of that. So something to keep in mind. I didn't think it would block it, but it does. But anyways, so the floor plan is coming together. I'm getting most of the rooms mapped out, and this is pretty much what it looks like. I think I do make a couple changes, like I said. But anyways, we're going to go on to the landscaping, which is pretty difficult to do in the snow, I'm not going to lie. But I have a pretty good idea what most of the plants look like without the snow on them, because I have built quite a bit. But I do like the way it turns out, and when I checked it in the daylight, it does look really nice. But like I said, it was lacking the terrain paint, because I do like to put dirt shadows underneath all of my plants just to make it look like there's a little bit more dimension and there's a shadow to it, and I think that looks a lot better. And I create some pathways and stuff, but like I said, you'll see that all at the end of the video. But other than that, out here I do put some planter boxes because yeah, so your Sims can grow some plants because of the new gardening career, as well as the whole gardening system's been revamped. So probably most of my builds will contain some sort of planter boxes, even though I think they did before the update, so I don't know if it really made that big of a difference. Although I just built a house yesterday that has a greenhouse that I love. It's so pretty. I'm very excited to share that build with you guys. It's in like my top 3 favorite builds I've ever done. I'm very excited to share it. It's so nice. But other than that, yeah, I get a swing set out here because I'm in love with that new item as well. And then a barbecuer and a place to eat, of course. I was thinking about putting a little barbecue area in a closed off section where I have now, but I end up getting rid of it. I do think it looks nice, so maybe if you download this house, you'd maybe want to put something like that, but I decided not to in the end. And other than that, there's just, I went for a lot of green plants. I went for some bushes, and the one plant that came with Outdoor Retreat that has purple flowers on it, I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but I think that's like the main color of the landscaping that I get out. But I think it looks really nice. And what else is on the exterior? I think that's about it. Some evergreen trees, of course, because those look the nicest in the winter time. They have all of their leaves still and they're covered in snow. But the regular like hardwood trees that do lose their leaves look so pretty in fall. Oh my god, that's like probably my favorite way to build right now is in the fall, because all of the colors are so pretty. Because as some of you guys probably know, I do live in the Northwest, so evergreen trees are everywhere. So in the winter, all of the trees still have their leaves, well, pine needles usually, and yeah, they don't really look any different. Maybe a little bit different, but yeah, we don't really get those fall colors like places that have hardwood forests do. But anyways, so I think it's pretty much coming together, and then we will go on to the interior. And something I did realize, if you take one of those trees and it's too close to the house, it actually has the indoor lighting, so it doesn't have the lighting as if it were outside in the snow. So that was a little bit tricky. I didn't do anything to this build, and then went to go take some screenshots, and then some of the trees had changed color because I guess they were too close to the house. So I think I have it all fixed in the end, at least with the final upload of this build. That's the fixed version, will be just fine. But we are starting off with the living room area. It did take me a little while to pick out a couch. Actually, this isn't the one I go with, but I actually had to cut out footage of me like going through the couches, because it was seriously like even after I sped it up, like a minute of me just going through couch swatches. I don't know why it was so difficult, but I do like the way it turns out in the end. I went for a very like traditional, like classic look. I didn't want it to be a very modern house. I imagined that the parents or the adults in the house really wanted this house to kind of stick to its tradition. Like, even though it's probably in modern times, I thought that they were really into the traditional look, and that's why they have a Tudor home. It's just their style. But so the couch on the right side of the living room, if you're facing the stairs, is the one that I do get rid of and place a regular chair in the end. So that's the only thing that'll be different, other than that pile of clothes clutter that I was talking about. And I put some bookshelves behind that couch. I don't think your Sims can get to it, so if you can't, don't worry about it. There's another bookcase, I think, somewhere in the house, but I wanted it to look like built-in shelving just to add a bit more kind of decoration to the house and give it a little bit more of the look I was going for. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it, but I think it looks nice. I did pull out that Christmas tree for a second, thinking about decorating it for Christmas, which I am definitely going to do. I don't know if it'll be anytime this summer, because I did try to do a little bit more of a Christmassy build. I was just having a little bit harder time getting into it, I think because, well, it's July, And maybe once it gets closer to the holiday season, I will do a Christmas build, but maybe I'll get a spurt of inspiration and build one before then. I also want to do a Halloween house like I talked about before. Maybe that'll be closer to Halloween, I'm not sure. And what else? Probably just a truly like autumn house. What is the word that people use? Autumnal? That's not a word I hear that often, but an autumn house or a fall house, just something that's really decorated for the fall season with lots of pumpkins and oranges and purples and browns and all of those like really rich autumn colors would be really nice. So I definitely want to build a house like that. But anyways, so now I'm on to the office area, and I kind of wish I would have left that globe bar in here. I end up getting rid of it in the end, but I do put a little cat house in here, which I think is really nice. So the family could have a cat if you want. They could of course have a dog, but I do have cat items in there. So there's the cat house. There is a litter box in this house as well as a food bowl, but you could get rid of those items if you didn't want to have a cat. And then there's the art easel in here, and then the desk, of course. I end up switching out for a different desk because this one didn't really look the way I wanted it to, and yeah, like I said, it does look really nice in the end, and the lighting that comes through the skylight is so pretty. I'm obsessed with those. That's probably my favorite new feature that has came recently is those skylights. Like, of course, I like the new items that came with seasons. They're really nice items, and of course the weather's nice, but the skylights that came in the update before seasons is just like, it adds a lot to building, I think, is why I like it so much, because of course new items is nice and you can decorate things a little bit differently, but essentially everything is pretty much the same. You get kitchens and, well, actually no, we didn't get any kitchen items with seasons, which is a bit unfortunate, but we got new bathroom items, furniture for the living room, and all that kind of stuff that we always get. But skylights is something that is really new, or at least the glass roof texture is really new. So it's just awesome. I'm very happy about that. I'm having a lot of fun building with it. But now we're on to the kitchen area, and so it's a pretty open kitchen dining room area. So I imagine this room has been a little bit renovated, like they've taken a wall out or something, because I think when this house was originally built, it probably would have been a little bit closed in, but I thought it looked better to keep it a little bit more open and yeah, a little bit nicer, I think anyways, but I do really like the way it turns out. It's not overly cluttered. I did add a few little decorations here and there, but I didn't want this house to be too cram-packed because it is kind of a small house. I didn't want your Sims to have too much trouble navigating, but yeah, do really like the way it turns out. And I do get a laundry room in this house. Well, it's not really its own separate room. It's like a laundry area, and that's right next to the downstairs bathroom area. So we'll get to that in a little bit once I finish this kitchen area. But I really like this side table that I just put under the mirror. It's one of my favorite items that came with seasons because it has the glass windows on it, and you can see all the little decorations and clutter on the inside. So it kind of does some of the decorating for you when they add items like that, because you don't really have to do as much detail, I feel like. So really like that. But yeah, I just put a few little items over here on top of the table, and then over on top of that, what do you call that? A hutch, I think is what you call it. I put a few decorations over there, but I keep it pretty simple. Oh, and pull out the high chair, of course, for the toddler, because I did mention in a couple builds ago how I wanted to add more like nurseries and toddler rooms in some of my builds. So some of the ones that will be coming out within the next few builds will have some toddler rooms, and one that has a twin toddler room. And I'm very excited to share that build with you guys. That's actually another seasons and base game only house. Usually I don't do two, like, actually I don't really do that often. I've done some builds where it's like one pack and base game only. I did that with cats and dogs, and now I've done that with seasons, but this one is another one, but it is a starter house. Well, not a starter house. It's like 35,000 simoleons, so it's like a budget house, but I'm very excited to share that one with you guys. And yeah, I need to do some actual nurseries though, because haven't done one of those in a while. But anyways, so now I'm adding some decoration to the kitchen counters. But like I said, I didn't want it to be too cluttered up, but I did want to have some items to make it look lived in. So just a few things here and there, some, you know, soap and flowers and a coffee pot, of course. And the sim that I was playtesting this house was like obsessed with the coffee. It seems like hit or miss whenever you have like a sim that's obsessed with a certain like kitchen item, like if you have popcorn or ice cream, or like sometimes even like a barbecuer. It seems like some sims will just be absolutely obsessed with that item. it's a little bit funny. Sims are kind of quirky that way. But yeah, this room is pretty much coming together. I think I just add a few more items over here. And then to the right is where this little laundry area will be. So you can, of course, delete these items if you don't want to do laundry in your game. But yeah, I think it looks really nice. You could add like a little bookshelf over there or something. I don't really know what you would do with this space otherwise, but I'm sure you guys could figure it out. And then get the little ironing board on the wall, which I think is really cute. And then I end up putting a hamper where I have those Christmas or holiday decoration boxes, which so since I didn't watch the live stream of The Sims when they were live streaming seasons, I didn't know that that item was actually the way you decorated your house for the holidays. But I was doing a little bit of gameplay, just messing around with the seasons, and I went through. I had a single sim. I was trying to start a new current household, but I was having a hard time getting into it, so I don't know if I'm gonna have to start a different one, or maybe current households aren't for me, because anytime I start one, I don't stick with them that long. But anyways, she went through what is their version of Thanksgiving in the game. I can't think of what it's called, but I went to go decorate the house and I couldn't figure out how to do it. I was like trying to click on the foundation and trying to click on the windows and nothing was happening. And then I saw at the top of the where it has like the little display that tells you like the goals for the holiday or like the traditions, and it says that you could use that box, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So you may want to add that item back into this house if you want to play with this house during Christmas, because I was not aware. I thought it was purely decorative. I didn't know it was an actual interactive object. So that's really cool. I think that's a really nice detail. But anyways, so we just blew through the upstairs bathroom, but that's the family bathroom. And I'm really happy that I was able to get a bathtub in this house, because since there is a toddler in this household, at least that's what I was imagining, a bathtub is pretty necessary, because I don't think you can give your sim toddlers a bath otherwise. And then I didn't show the decoration of the landing area, because literally I added like 2 pictures on the walls and it took me forever to do that. It was kind of annoying footage to watch, so I just cut it out, but you will see everything in the screenshots. But now I'm decorating the toddler's room, which I think turns out so cute. And I went for the Victorian wallpaper that came with vampires throughout this house, which I think gives it that really nice classic look. And it's really nice wallpaper. If you guys don't have vampires, then of course we have some really nice wallpapers that are in base game that are really traditional, and I think probably in Get Together maybe. But these ones were like really perfect, and they have this like nice shine to them, so did use them throughout the house. So if you don't have vampires, those might be replaced or missing if you download this house. But yeah, this room is coming together. Just put a few little pictures up on the walls, and I think it turns out really cute. It's a pretty simple little bedroom, but I do really like it in the end. And of course, the toddler potty, I forgot to put one in the bathroom, so I put it in the toddler's room. I think that's a bit weird to have the potty in the room, but I mean, it's a Sims, it's not that big of a deal. I would ideally like to put it in the bathroom, but I felt like the bathroom was a little bit small, so decided just to leave it in the bedroom instead. But this is going to be the parents' bedroom, and I am obsessed with this bed in particular that came with Seasons. The other beds are really nice. The kids' bed with the drapes on it is really pretty. It's a little bit over the top though, so I don't think it's like a regular bed that most kids would have. And what else? There was another bed, another like double bed that came with the Seasons pack, which is nice, but I feel like it's a little bit more teen looking. But this one is like, it's nice. I like really like this bed. I think it looks mature and it looks pretty, and I love the textures. So I've used it in like almost all of my master bedrooms as of recently. So hopefully you guys won't get annoyed of it. Hopefully it's not too repetitive for you guys. I don't want all of my things to look the same, but I really like it. I think they were like spot on with this bed. Love it a lot. I love all the extra pillows and everything. It's just so pretty. But now we're on to the other kids' room, which I am obsessed. I didn't realize that this blue version of this bed came with like stars on it. It's so pretty. And so I went with this whole like kind of space theme in this room, kind of like a starry night room with certain little items that are space themed. But I imagined, now you could have a boy in this room, but I imagined it was a little girl who wants to be an astronaut, which I thought was a lot of fun. Like a really fun idea, and I thought that would be a fun character to play with. So yeah, it's probably one of my favorite kids rooms I've done in a very long time. So I hope you guys like it too. But that little pile of clothes that I put under the hamper is what I was talking about. The Sim could not interact with the hamper at all, and I think originally couldn't even get into the room because of it too. So yeah, I got rid of it in the end, so there's no pile of clothes on the floor, which I feel like it's a bit silly. I feel like if they're going to have items that are meant to be on the floor like that, they shouldn't block your Sims at all. They should be able to walk over them like a rug or something. So I would like to see that changed. I think if the Sims were to fix anything like that. Is it the same way with that mess that came with Parenthood that's like the teenage clutter all over the floor that has like the backpack and t-shirt? Can your Sims walk over that, or does that block them as well? I feel like they should be able to walk over it, but I don't know if that's a thing. Let me know if that blocks, because I'm not really sure. But anyways, so I'm just putting a few little items on the patio area, and I really like how there's like snow on them. They look like they've already been outside. I think that is really cool that they added that sort of kind of frosted look. And I was going to put the slide out here. You can of course add that if you decide to in the end, but it is regular sunny build mode now, and so now I'm adding the terrain paint. So if you saw at the beginning when I first came into this mode, that's what it looked like if you just place this lot down in your build without it being winter. So all of this terrain painting I'm adding, I will re-upload this build with all of the terrain paint. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So it'll be a fixed version on the gallery, and hopefully we will be able to see a little bit of the skylight on the interior. I don't know if we go too much onto the interior, but yeah, I like the look of the terrain paint a lot better. I think I will delete the older version, so if you don't like the terrain paint, if you like it without, it's already up there. I will leave it up there for a while, but I'll probably end up deleting it because I don't think there's a really reason to have two versions of the same house up on the gallery. So yeah, that's what I will do. But anyways, so that's about it. It's the only changes I make to this build. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!